Okay, hello again. This is the LSU segment of our 10-minute deal. After this thing, we're going to come on in and just have a free-for-all anyway. Um, I made some notes, and I got my little book here during the week, and I entitled this, Why LSU Will Win. I'm not predicting win, I'm just saying these are some reasons why they can win. And I'm talking mostly about intangibles because you're going to hear the stats. I've already given my breakdown of all the different defensive line and everything, and I think these teams are so evenly matched that I think it's going to be some of these intangible things that come in and might play a big factor in this. Um, and these aren't in any particular order. One reason, I love the fact that LSU just had 2 practice games. And this is not on any way, shape, or form degrading the Auburn football program. I'm just saying that Saturday we played them, they did not play well at all. So I'm going to call that game and the Tulane game our practice games. And of those practice games, we're totally healthy for this week. I mean, nobody got hurt, and that was a great thing. On the flip side of that, Alabama's, from what I hear and reading the papers and all, it sounds like Alabama really needed this time off this past week as well. So that might cancel each other out. Sherelle, you want to add anything about, do you agree with me that Bama might have needed a week off to rest their legs and everything?
Absolutely, Rick. The way they looked in that Tennessee game, they had ran out of gas. So that off week for Alabama came at a great time.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. Those two things may end up canceling each other out. What are some of the other keys to the game?
Well, another thing I like is that the LSU offense has gotten better the last 2 weeks since that Florida debacle. And Bama's offense looks like it's been degrading the last, 3 or 4 weeks. I love the fact that Jordan Jefferson had his knucklehead game against Florida. Either he's got it out of his system or that's how he's going to play against another great defense in Alabama. We'll just have to see. But I love the fact that he did get one of those games under his belt, which he's going to have to do. I love our defense against the Bama's offense. I know Julio Jones lit us up last year, and he might do it again. But I love the matchup. I'll take it. One of the biggest things I love about the LSU side is this is the first time since 2002 that LSU's played a big game like this where all the pressure is not on us. We have no pressure in this game whatsoever. We have no, there was no anticipation of us, being this far, talking about SEC championships, BCS, or any of that crap. We can just go out there and play football and be loose. Alabama's got all the pressure on them, and I think that's going to work to our favor. Charles Scott and Keelan Williams, these guys are due to have big games. And I'm not saying it's going to be against Alabama, but I got faith in these running backs. And I've got so much faith in them that I have all the respect in the world for Ingram and Richardson and Upchurch and Alabama's fine core running backs. But if our guys can find their football sweet spot and remember how to play, I will take these backs against any group of backs in the country, and I really think that these 2 guys are really due to explode. Not to mention what you just said, Ridley and Holiday and Shepard and everybody else. Another thing I like about this game is that it's in Tuscaloosa. We love playing in Tuscaloosa, and I remember my first road trip as a young fan in 1982. When we went up to Legion Field in Alabama, the first time LSU beaten Alabama in, almost more than a decade. Ever since then, our teams have played extremely well in the state of Alabama if we're playing Bama in Tuscaloosa or Birmingham, not against Auburn. So, I like the fact that it's in Tuscaloosa. But the biggest thing to me, again, is, all this pressure being on Alabama. And the week off that Alabama just had, and me and you talked about it earlier, was everybody's going home. They're chilling out, watching football over the weekend. Everybody's asking them for tickets. to the the SEC championship game. Everybody's asking for tickets to Pasadena. How are they going to play against Florida? Blah 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 blah. I mean, bet these guys had a whole weekend of filling their head with all that good news, and that might come back to bite them. So.
That's a good point, Rick.
Well, you said it last week, not me.
And that's also a good point talking about LSU's success in Tuscaloosa lately. I think I saw some on ESPN. Y'all won the last 4 in Tuscaloosa. That's pretty impressive.
We've won the last 4 in Tuscaloosa. And check these stats out. LSU and Alabama, this game, there's not much difference in these two teams than there was last year on either side of the ball. But, last year's stats in this game, LSU performed better on offense by a long shot against Alabama than they did against Arkansas and Ole Miss. This was LSU's best offensive game of the year last year if you count, the knucklehead teams out. So, I mean, hell, you just look at total offense, we've got, 382 total yards. Well, the next week we go and play against Ole Miss, and we go ahead and get 215 total yards.
Let me ask you, what do you expect out of Jordan Jefferson for this game?
Look, I think both quarterbacks are having the kind of year that we thought they might, hit or miss. I love the way he's been progressing. And, I'm an LSU fan, so I'm thinking one of these quarterbacks, both of them aren't going to play well. One of them will play decent, and I'm putting my money on Jordan Jefferson to play well. And it has a lot to do with that already he's had that game at Florida. I mean, these quarterbacks, they've got to have games like that where they struggle and they don't see the field and everything. But I looked at him playing against Auburn and Tulane. He's still staring down receivers. He's still, not reading down to his check receivers, and, he can't see his second or third receiver. I mean, I saw him staring down receivers all night long. But I think he's going to progress more than McElroy in this game, and I think he's going to kind of outshine him. Just like, Jamarcus Russell did against Crawl that year when me and you went. When LSU and Alabama was like 3rd and we were 4th or something like that. That overtime game we went to.
Yeah, Russell did have the better day. Rick, I want to get your comments on this. I saw Les Miles on ESPN earlier. They asked him about Russell Shepard, how he will be used, and Coach Miles says they want to give him as many touches as possible. And that means him running, catching, and throwing the football. Is that something you want to see in this game Saturday?
I don't want to see him catching the ball, because if he catches the ball, all Alabama's got to do is touch him. He's going to fumble. He's not ready for the stuff y'all want to see, stripping the ball away from him and stuff. He's not that strong. I mean, if we can get him on some kind of reverse and something like that. But again, I don't know why we'd want to run a bunch of reverses against this defense. In fact, I'll go so far as to say that if you see a bunch of us playing options with Keelan Williams in the backfield and Jordan Jefferson running it, if y'all see us run 2 of those plays in the first half, Alabama wins. I'll guarantee it. So, no, I don't want to see, I'd like to see Russell Shepard get a few handoffs and stuff like that, but, the danger with him in this game is, he's a little guy. And if he gets into situations where, these guys can strip the ball away from him, they probably going to get it from him, He just, that's what he's done in the Vanderbilt game and a couple of these other ones. I just don't know if he's ready for this. He's put on a hell of a good show the last 2 weeks, but again, who am I going to get the ball to? Keelan Williams or Charles Scott or Russell Shepard? So, no, I don't want to see a lot of Russell Shepard in this game, but all our fans do. Maybe they know something I don't. I'm willing to explore that.
Well, what do you want to see in this game? You want to see 20, 25 carries from Charles Scott?
I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. What are we're just going to run up the middle 25 times? Hey, I got to stop this. Hold on.